Can they bring down the Buckeyes? Welcome to the Voice of College Football and our breakdown of every schedule in the Power 5. And we have made our way to the Big Ten and a team that many believe won the Eastern Division Championship, the Indiana Hoosiers. IU coming off 8-4 2 years ago. They lost a bowl game to Tennessee and then came back with a fine season. They took Ohio State to a one-touchdown game in Columbus. Lost the one regular season game, then went on to lose to Ole Miss as a touchdown favorite in the Outback Bowl. So 6 wins and 2 losses for Tom Allen and crew, and now they are primed possibly for a run in the Big Ten Eastern Division to take on and take down mighty Ohio State. Well, it all starts out with a huge Big Ten affair on the road at Iowa. Indiana at Iowa. So that's a toss-up game right there, right out of the gate. Indiana typically plays a very weak non-conference schedule. When does Indiana ever play anyone? About 7 to 8 years ago, they had back-to-back home-and-home series with Missouri, and that would be the strongest opponent they've played recently. They played a pretty weak Virginia team 3 to 4 years ago, home-and-home there as well. So Indiana didn't schedule any Power 5s, so that would appear to be a 3-game sweep. But look at that one. Week 3 after Idaho, Cincinnati. Oh, what a game that's going to be. Cincinnati in Bloomington to take on the Hoosiers as Cincinnati makes its bid possibly for a group of 5 team making it to the college football playoff. At Western Kentucky is the other game right there. So Indiana in those first 3 games easily could be 1-2. They're not going to be 0-3, 1-2, but they could be 3-0. And if they defeat Iowa and Cincinnati, then they better be ranked in the top 10. They're definitely going to be ranked in the top 10. That actually makes sense. Then it's Western Kentucky on the road, and then back into Big Ten play at Penn State. Of course, Indiana had that monumental win against the Nittany Lions at the wire with Michael Penix diving for the pylon 36-35 in overtime last year. Michigan State used to be an automatic loss for the Hoosiers. Now it looks to be an automatic win, possibly. Ohio State, now they get them in Bloomington. Interesting. Of course, that's going to be the game of the year if Indiana wants to win the division. I believe they want to win the division, yes. At Maryland and at Michigan. I'm not going to call those toss-up games, but they're losable games. But for the first time in forever, Indiana going to be a favorite in games like these. They're going to be a favorite at Michigan unless things drastically change between then and now, because we're creeping late into the season here. Rutgers, Minnesota, and Purdue are the final 3 games. You would expect Indiana to most likely win those games, although Minnesota could be tough at that point. The 3 out-of-division games are pretty difficult. So every time we size up, especially, well, really all the conferences excluding the Big 12, you got to look at who these teams have to play in the other division, because that's key in the division race. How difficult is your schedule outside the division, because they're all different and they're all basically unfair. They have not come up, either the ACC, the SEC, the Pac-12, or the Big Ten, with an equitable non-division schedule. And so Indiana's got to play, of course, the Iowa game. They've got Minnesota. They got the old Oak and Bucket game. They always have Purdue. That's the one constant in the Big Ten non-division. Purdue, Indiana. This one on the road in West Lafayette. I think Indiana goes down to Cincinnati. I think the Bearcats go to Bloomington and upset the Hoosiers. I got to think Indiana's going to be a slight favorite in that game, something in the 3-6 range. And then I've got Indiana dropping 3 games in the Big Ten. Most likely Ohio State, Penn State, and Iowa. Those are the 3 I peg. Ohio State, Penn State, and Iowa knock off Indiana. They could steal one of those games, especially Penn State or Iowa, and then maybe they get picked off at Maryland or at Michigan. Indiana with a solid season at 8-4, 6-3 in the Big Ten, but not quite the breakout season that many are predicting for the Hoosiers. Leave your record predictions below for this team that probably is the best shot, many believe, to knock off Ohio State. We shall see what I believe as we go through the rest of the Big Ten Eastern Division right here at the Voice of College Football.